Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. And welcome once more to another video podcast of PNT Live. And remember, you can always check out the archives of PNT Live over on pntlive.net. Before I continue, I want to warn everyone out there, be you a performer, an adult actor or actress, or an adult content consumer, as of current, stay as far away from Venetian Productions, aka BangBros, as you can, because from my perspective, they are not only linked to the criminal activity of blackmail and extortion, but at least from my perspective, they have the agenda of pushing individuals to suicide. Today, I felt the need to put together a podcast in regards to some recent news pertaining to a lawsuit revolving around a criminal entity known as Girls Do Porn, also an adult content studio known as BangBros, aka Venetian Productions, and an extraordinarily horrific, homophobic and racist and misogynistic hate crime known as Pornwikileaks. For those of you who follow me, and as of current, I'm not accepting any additional followers via my Twitter at Alex Mayers Live, but remember, you can always follow me on alexandramayerslive.com. If you do follow me, you're aware that over the past few weeks, the entity known as BangBros or Venetian Productions put out a press release in regards to their supposed buyout of the hate crime known as Pornwikileaks, which was founded by an individual known as Donnie Long. Now, that's all well and good. I think that it's wonderful that that particular hate crime, as of current, at least in part, is offline. I've actually been calling for such a move to be made from within the adult entertainment industry for several years now, since I'd say around 2011. Actually, that's when I was interviewed by mainstream media in regards to the issue that is the Pornwikileaks situation. So, at least for the majority of performers as of current, their personal data is at least in part safeguarded. I've always thought that the adult entertainment industry needs to put far more practices into effect when it comes to protecting the welfare, especially the psychological well-being of the adult entertainers, the actors and the actresses. But what's interesting about this particular situation is that once more, we do not have legal closure upon the situation, and at least from my perspective, BangBros, aka Venetian Productions, has not disclosed the whole and entire truth in regards to the situation. Because here's the thing. If we look back at adult entertainment history, when the founder of this particular hate crime known as Donnie Long came on the scene back around 2005, 2006, who was the adult content studio that essentially created the Donnie Long persona? It was BangBros, Venetian Productions. It sure as hell was. You can research this yourself via iafd.com. They were the ones who distributed some of his first scenes. They were the ones who cultivated this criminal stalker and incredibly homophobic, racist, misogynistic, and hateful individual. They were the ones who promoted him. They were the ones who granted him popularity. And I would not be surprised to learn if they were the ones who initially, at least in part, had to do with him going out to the Los Angeles adult entertainment industry scene and wreaking havoc. Why? Because there's always been a tremendous amount of competition between the East Coast, mainly Southeast Florida, adult content studios, and the West Coast, original Los Angeles adult entertainment industry. When BangBros, aka Venetian Productions, first came on the scene, they were not readily accepted. And I think quite a few of the moves that were made by the hate crime known as Pornwikileaks, especially when it came to releasing the performer data, in actuality had to do with a little bit of industrial espionage. Now, I'm not only going to blame BangBros, aka Venetian Studios, for the creation of the monster that the individual known as Donnie Long is, I'm also going to point a finger at a porn industry attorney known as Michael Federosi. Because around the same time that the individual known as Donnie Long came on the scene, he connected with Michael Federosi, who is an incredibly racist and homophobic individual. I think a lot of people would look at this particular lawyer and be like, well, his wife is black. How can he be racist? Well, that's his shield. That's his mask. Some of the worst racists on earth, when they're males, do have wives or significant others who are of color. It's called plausible deniability. So anyway, at that particular time, I'd say around 2006 to 2008, this particular attorney, known as Michael Federosi, was attempting to become like a media mogul. He created an entity called Primetime Uncensored, which was ridiculous. It never worked out, completely defunct. But upon that venture not working out, guess who took over that studio space? Donnie Long. Now, a part of the reason that that particular venture, the media Primetime Uncensored thing didn't work out, was because Michael Federosi himself was speaking out adamantly against people within the LGBT community. Why is he so homophobic? I don't know. I personally have always thought it was a cover. I actually personally always have thought that Federosi and the individual known as Donnie Long in actuality are lovers, and they were trying to create a huge cover to cover it up. A lot of people of a certain mindset who are in the closet do that kind of thing, and you know, that's their prerogative, fine, but they don't need to be harming other people along the way as they're indulging within their own insecurities. Now, the only reason that I decided to really put this podcast together today is because I felt it was very important for individuals to be aware that this hate crime Pornwikileaks thing has not come to a close since BangBros intervention. Like I said, they created this problem. I think that they felt a certain amount of responsibility, and they were like, okay, we open the door, we're going to close the door. But they didn't close the door completely. From my perspective, they lied to mainstream media by stating that they destroyed all the data. They did not. How do I know this? Because close to 10 years after I first entered the adult entertainment industry several years ago, an industry which I have left, I received a very frightening email today, which I'm going to read to all of you, because I'm not shouldering all of this by myself anymore. As I move forward in life, as certain things happen that do, frankly, scare me, I'm going to share it with all of you so that, God forbid, something happens to me, because I've gone to law enforcement when it comes to this kind of thing. I've notified people, but God forbid something happens. I want people to at least know who is linked to the situation. But anyway, I received this horrific email, and I thought to myself, wow, here I am. I've moved forward in life. I'm primarily talking about politics and whatnot nowadays. And still I'm being harassed. Why? Because I was an adult entertainer who chose to speak out when it came to unethical activity that I witnessed, criminal activity, activity linked to organized crime, activity that severely harmed myself and my family. You know, sometimes people are able to let things go, but once a person lets something go and then they're constantly pursued needlessly, that's when certain things happen that probably shouldn't happen. But anyways, let me go ahead and read to some of you this particular email I received. And then I'm going to read to all of you the statement that was posted on Pornwikileaks since BangBros supposedly took it over. But I do want to point out that a lot of this does appear to be linked to that lawsuit in regards to the criminal entity known as Girls Do Porn. I think it's quite possible that BangBros was trying to either launder money to Donnie Long to where he could protect himself legally, or they were trying to exonerate themselves, at least publicly, from the situation, because a lot of the girls involved in that lawsuit had their information posted on that website. All right, now here's the email I received. It was earlier today, Friday the 13th, 2019, and it came directly from the email address pwlarmy@gmail.com. And that is the email address that for, years was linked directly to the Pornwikileaks extortion and blackmail enterprise. And before I read this, I want all of you to pay attention to the fact that this email is openly attempting to blackmail me. And I'm saying attempting because it's just not going to work. I don't submit to threats. I don't submit to blackmail, extortion, nothing along those lines. It's titled, "Two Can Play Your Game." If you want this to ever stop, you best delete all the lies and libel off all your sites and all your accounts, or we keep going, you fucking retard. All you and your family's PWL shit is gone, but it can and will come back if you keep going. You can dish it out, but so can we. Haven't you learned you just can only kick yourself and your family when you try to kick others? I will be copying all you and your family's wiki pages and thousands of blog and forum posts from PWL to a dedicated website all about the Mayers if you don't delete all your libel and crimes and STFU, you stupid failed whore. Up to you, but either way, I win, as I always do. And this is fun to me, playing this game where I always win. Write this down and take an effing picture and hang it on your wall and finally get it, you dumb N-word. Take it to the courts, police, a PI, and your grandmother's dog for all I care, but you still lose. Donnie Long always effing wins. 10 effing years of kicking your dumb ass and exposing your fails, and I still win. I made a fortune making you a laughing stock for the idiot moron that you are, and you ask for it online. You are the butt end of jokes, famous now. Ha 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 ha. You wanted attention, and you and your family got it. Give it up, you dumb failed whore, 'cause you only know how to kick yourself and your family as you done your whole life, you idiot moron. I will make the whole Mayers family a dedicated huge site with all you all's PWL shit if all your libel, lies, and threats are not removed from your accounts. You have 24 hours, you dumb, worthless, failed whore. Yeah, this is the kind of thing I've dealt with for many years now. What I find interesting about this entire situation, and it's funny because some of my own family doesn't even believe me, I've never met in person this Donald Carlosian character. I did meet an individual who appears to advise him legally, a lawyer known as Michael Federosi, when I shot for his wife at one point in time. When it comes to the BangBros Venetian production enterprise, they were actually my first scene, which is why today I'm going to warn every adult actress or actor, every individual on this planet, whether you be a performer or a consumer of adult content, Do not in any way cross paths with BangBros, Venetian Productions. Do not work with them. Do not purchase their product. Do not interact with them until they can come clean in regards to the truth of a certain situation. Actually, the situation which I just outlined in this video. In no way would I have ever thought that back in 2008, I'd be sitting here in the year 2019, on the cusp of 2020, discussing what was apparently not the smartest move on my part, which was to enter the adult entertainment industry via the South Florida studio known as Venetian Productions, aka BangBros. As of current, a lot of this is on legal record. It's in the courts. Will anything be done? Well, look at me. Let's really get real here. I'm a black woman. I'm not a cute little white girl. No one really cares. I've known for quite some time now that the only way that this is really going to come to a close is some other means. But again, I just want to warn a lot of you. When it comes to the adult entertainment industry, I believe decades ago, it was something that you shouldn't do, but you could do, and you could go forth and live a decent life. Nowadays, it's nothing but a blackmail and extortion racket. They want to get their claws into you. It's not about the content. When I look at this BangBros situation, it's like they were my first scene. They made some money off me, but I guess that wasn't enough. They have to enable somebody who's going to harass and stalk and threaten me, try to scare me years later. Really? Really? Yeah. Yeah. It's so funny because when I went into the adult entertainment industry years ago, I was thinking I was going into a world that was going to be very open and accepting, to where there wouldn't be color lines. And this turned out to be the most racist and bigoted industry that there could be. Actually, when I really think about it, that bigot, Michael Federosi, only was able to really get a foothold in that world because of BangBros and Venetian Studios, because of Donnie Long. He's been Federosi's megaphone, mouthpiece, frontman for quite a few years. Yeah. So that's about it. Hope this video wasn't too long, but I did want to share this information with a lot of you. And I'm probably going to post another video immediately after this that will consist of parts of Chapter 3 of the not too recently departed anti-porn activist and Christian and incredible human being who was known as Shelley Lubin. Actually, it was my thinking about her tonight that prompted me to put this particular video together. Because though I don't agree with everything that she said, I do feel that if it were not for her, I wouldn't have believed in myself enough to move forward with my own life. So have a good night, everybody, or a good morning, or a good afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever it is that you are. Once more, I am Alexandra Mayers, and you can always check out my official website, alexandramayerslive.com.